All the crust that was in the back has been decrustified. Hey, Slimer. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of Ghostbusters Project. It's not really a project, it's just kind of cleaning it up and dressing it up a little bit. But today I think I'm going to focus on removing the rubbers, cleaning the playfield. I want to check on if there's any other service bulletins that I should address. I'll add the Mylar to the flasher socket. That is an important one. Probably going to try and figure out something with that Cliffy that's all bent. Either bend it back into place or remove it altogether, possibly. Also, I checked my stash and I have Henry apron cards. I thought maybe he gave me a set a while back. Ooh, that's bright. Bright lights. Oh, watched a little bit of Gremlins on Christmas there. And I only ended up watching about 20 minutes and went to bed. But the classic Christmas movie, of course. So anyway, side note, I want to see if there's any other service bulletins too, like this, like fixes for different things. And since this is a very early run of Ghostbusters, I'm gonna have to just read. Like there's I think 200 pages in the Ghostbusters thread, the club thread. So I don't know. I'll have to find. I think I've seen a couple lists on things to do and must-have mods. So those are the things I'm gonna work on today. I'm going to swap the camera around and show you, firstly, yeah, look at these Henry custom action. Well, I don't know if it's customs. These might be Greg Benz's design, but they're friggin' awesome. I love them. So here's my Mylar. Here's my Mylar. And there's the flasher that needs the Mylar action. Well, I'll deal with that later. And I'm going to also remove the apron. I want to do that. Clean under there. Change some apron cards. Get rid of all these rubbers. Yeah, those feel like super bands to me. They're pretty thick. I guess I can find out how hard it is to put them on. Oh yeah, feel pretty stiff. So, never was a big fan of them. They're hard as hell to put on. I mean, there's a technique to them. If you kind of like push it, put it on the one side here, and then you kind of just sort of push slowly with your thumb, you can get it on pretty easy. Well, use two thumbs. That's the flipper rubber super band trick. But yeah, so let's remove all these rubbers, clean up the playfield. I did change this LED from red to white and get it ready for my parts and see what other things I want to do. We got the code updated. So things are coming along nicely. And I'll vacuum up the cabinet. It would be cool if I had green leg bolts. Did I do that on the one I sold to Henry? I forget. But we can check what I've got. I probably, there's a chance. There is, no, wait, no, because I only got sets of 4 just for experimental purposes. Blue, that ain't gonna do. Gold, no, I'm gonna have to get some more off of Eddie at pinballleds.ca. I think that's what it is anyway. But green leg bolts would be cool. But I can't put this on legs. I don't have enough height, so Harlem's gonna have to go. Anyway, I'm gonna work on this. There probably shouldn't be any issues with anything. Oh, except for the Cliffy. That's the one thing. This Cliffy being bent, don't love it. What does it look like underneath? I wonder if it's... But here, like the thing is, if I want to remove the Cliffy, see how it goes underneath this guide here? I think I'm gonna go to the other side and show you. Be able to see it better. So this metal wall would need to be pretty much removed in order to get this Cliffy off. In order to remove it, there's a bolt under the playfield here, or a nut, and here, and here, and here. But also, in order to remove it, I'd have to remove this gate, which is 3 screws there, and then another nut, oh, and then a screw. That way I could pull this whole thing off, pull this off, pull this all off. Then that gives me access. No, it doesn't. There's this wall too, so I need to remove that screw at least, and try and bend it out a little bit. And then I can remove these 2 screws to get at the Cliffy. Maybe. I should be able to kind of slip it off, but maybe not. Might have to remove the whole scoop as well. So not loving at all. So I'll see what I'm going to end up doing about that. Not sure yet. You know, I could actually remove these 2 screws, bend this bugger out, remove these 2 screws, then I can kind of get underneath the Cliffy here and maybe get a screwdriver under here and try and bend it back into shape. Maybe. So, I don't know. That'll be a little bit of a pain, but alright, so I'm going to move on and clean up some crud, remove some rubbers, take some photos, and make some progress. Okay, I've got things cleaned up. The playfield, I vacuumed out the cabinet. That's looking a little better now. All the crust that was in the back has been decrustified. Hey, Slimer. And let's see if I can do this one-handed without causing any motion sickness. Nope, I feel like this isn't going to go well. I'm going to hit the pause button. Yeah, good idea with the pause. Okay, so as you can see, the apron I have removed. And the playfield is nice and shiny. I don't know if we can catch the shine. I noviced it up. But it's definitely... I think I got pretty much every square inch. Maybe every square centimeter. Oh, that reminds me. I've got to clean the edge of my blue nubs with my... You know what? Why don't I show you my trick? Because I think someone asked me before how I got them so clean. Actually, I think it was Chris McKinley. Shout out. And the answer is this. Well, the answer really is just rubbing alcohol, but these are wipes. Rubbing alcohol wipes, I use them all the time. Great for cleaning rubbers. But if you just rub on that for a bunch, it will come almost perfect. But yeah, that's the trick. Don't want to bore you with cleaning blue rubbers of the nubby kind, but alright, now I got to clean up my mess that I made. But yeah, so that's the trick there. Well, now I have to do this one because I'm on the track here, but there. Now I don't need to remember to do that. Okay, so rest of the playfield cleaned up nicely. I did take off this ring thingamajiggy that was over top of the pop bumpers so that I could access in there and get it nice and clean. Stay puffed. You stay put. And yeah, so what am I going to do now? Oh, I didn't remove all these rubbers. So I thought it would just be easier to do one for one kind of thing. I mean, I could remove them all, but there's a lot of posts there, and it's just easier to remember how they go if you leave them there and just remove them one at a time. So I think I can put the apron back on and my apron cards, and then maybe I'll clean all the playfield parts and get them ready for when I do get my rubbers. But yeah, everything is shipped. So I guess I'll research any other service bulletin stuff next. Okay, so I thought I'd try and work on this Cliffy here. So it turns out, yeah, well, I got out this screw here and this screw here so I could move this out of the way, right? That was the first step. Then I thought I would remove these, nice and simple, but no, there's nuts on the other side, which isn't that big of a deal, but A, you can't really get anything on this screw here because it's so close to the wall. And even on the other side, you got this, and there's something else. This mech here, the up post mech, is right beside it, so you can barely access this nut on the bottom and this screw on the top. So I'm gonna resort to manipulation time. I'm gonna see if I can use my switch tool, screwdriver. If I can get that bent down flat to the playfield to my satisfaction, then I will leave that. But I'm gonna need 2 hands for that. So if I can get that nice and flat, then I will be happy. It may just buckle up in another 7,000 games, but I could live with that. So I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, I messed with this for a good 20 minutes, and I don't know. I think that's about all I'm gonna do. I didn't get it perfectly flat. I just don't think I can do it without removing the whole thing, but it's just more trouble than it's worth. So I'm hoping that that just is not an issue. Definitely don't love it, but I mean, it would literally take an hour. Oh, I gotta clean this ball track in here just to remove everything, just to try and bend that down a little bit. And I may or may not be able to bend it back into shape. And even if I do, after a few hundred games, it could just be bent right back into the same damn position. So I just think it's not worth the trouble. So I've tightened this back up, put the screws back in, and hopefully I've got that adjusted to the same spot it was before. It does seem kind of weird that that blue nub is like half in the scoop. There's an adjustment for that screw there, so you can go in and out a bit. That's about where it was though, so I imagine it was working fine, so I'm not going to mess with that yet. When worst comes to worst, I can always remove this plastic and adjust that if necessary. But yeah, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Alright, I believe I got those Mylar strips at Pinball Resource, and I cut me a piece like so that I'm going to put on like so, covering up the metal exposed action. So that should work. Hopefully that'll stay on there. Almost tempted to add a tad of crazy glue, but we'll see. I'll add that and go from there. Actually, that went on pretty good. There was enough surface area there that the Mylar, I feel, is stuck on really good. So that should address that service bulletin. Alright, I think I've gone as far as I can go in terms of reassembly without having my rubbers and my glow balls. So I got those glow balls at Measle Mods, by the way, and my rubbers were from Titan Pinball. And apron cards are installed and beautiful. What else do I got? Not much. I wasn't able to do much. I got the raised plastic installed, this trifecta thing installed, the back 2 corner plastics installed. Obviously I cleaned them. And that's really about as far as I can go. Yeah, I will tear apart the shooter rod, clean that, put it back together again, rebuild the flippers. But that's about it for reassembly. Alright, I did a couple last little things before I'm going to wrap up this one. That is installing my spare Ecto 1 keychain. And I did rebuild, well, take apart, clean, put back together again, the shooter rod. Voila. And a little funny thing I only just noticed tonight is that if you ever get stuck for a shooter tip, say you have them Ghostbusters on location, your shooter tip is busted and you don't have one with you, you can just yoink one off of the service poles. Isn't that cute? Yeah, so I thought that was neat. Anyway, that's about all I'm gonna get done tonight. Gonna wrap it up and hope for some parts. They won't come in tomorrow, it's too soon, but I might start getting some stuff possibly tomorrow. So if so, we'll be able to make some good progress. But so far so good. I'm getting excited for parts to come in and get them all installed. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.